Alright, verse 256 gwe ssebo banyabo andaba lwakuba mu Uganda tulinamu just kanyomonyomo na kuzoleya ne mu Uganda waliyo abantu abali gumite abakyala abasobola okuweggulire mu Uganda nga tewali munnayuganda asobola ddiwa waliwo eggulire waliwo amawulire bannayuganda ge bandyetaaze okumanya naye nga wallahi billahi tallahi teri munnayuganda asobola ddiwa naye nga waliwo bali abakyala nga bo bagamba bali gumite bali wumite bali pumite bali namite na buli kimu gwe kyomanyi nti bali strong and solid. Nange ndikali Lugambo Pro Max naye mbutuufu waliwo nange amawulire gesobola kubawa naye nga nina abantu benneesiga nga basobola okugabawa nze ndiwo okubanoonyeza abantu kati tambuza video owulire eggulire lino bampita simple kali Lugambo Pro Max kati wano ndoopa Lugambo sigenda dduba wabula ntubaloopera bannaaye njagala muwulirize omukazi ono ebigambo bye yayogedde omukazi ayogedde I don't even know. Kati njagala ovuga video gitambuze tegeeza munno omugambe nti yes akasajja kaze katukomewo.
As you might know, Kulaigye has passed. Kulaigye follows Janet and also the gentleman from West Nile. What's his name? Sorry, the minister or what's his name? Let me try to look it up. 1 second. Moses Ali. Moses Ali is also gone. He's passed. During this time while they're in Changkwanzi and, you know, everything else going through, the mafia actions going on, they're trying to make sure that we don't focus on what's important. And obviously they're ashamed to share things like that now. They're afraid to share their losses because it is a celebration from our side. Jacinta, yes. Moses Ali. Moses Ali is gone. Kulaigye is gone. Obviously Janet Museveni is gone, but they're trying not to talk about Janet Museveni. In fact, it's a crime to even mention Janet Museveni's demise in Uganda. But they've, as I talked in a few videos back, they don't want to pronounce her. They're really trying to get through the swearing in ceremony, which we don't know if Museveni will be physically able to be there. It's likely that they'll do it via Zoom because he's incapable. The pictures that you see and the videos that you see are all doctored videos, and some of them may not even be him physically in there, but they can dress someone up to look like or pose as or try to appear like Museveni, which is likely something they could do on the swearing in ceremony if a physical body comes as Museveni to the event to swear in. If we get there, it is likely not going to be him. It is likely to be somebody who can pose as him, because as you've seen in the photos and videos, when you put them in AI, they have told you, a lot of them have come up with, you know, the results of when the video was taken, when it was recorded, when Museveni last spoke, when Museveni was last in the public eye, especially the ones coming out of Changkwanzi. People at Changkwanzi don't have their cell phones because they were taken away. So therefore they can control the media and produce only certain photos that they like with different postures or different appearances. But as you can see, Museveni has appeared in all different phases, from looking sickly, looking old, and looking much younger. All of them are not real. None of them is the actual physical human being of Museveni being at Changkwanzi. They will come and tell you, the ones, if you have any family members or friends who are attending the event, they will come out and tell you that they did not set eyes on him because he's recovering or he's very ill. And cannot make it to Changkwanzi. So, moving on. So the luxurious criminal was brought to court today, to public court. As you've heard, he testified not guilty, or he was asked how he pleads, and he pleads not guilty. Now, just the plea alone sets aside the fact that this person is possibly different than the person who was at the scene. Because as we saw in the pictures, the person who was at the scene and his side view looked quite different than this picture of the guy being paraded. It is possible that this guy was already in prison or in whatever. This guy was already somehow in the books of performing certain crimes in the past. But the person who came and committed that act of killing those children was a different person, somewhat of an expert, because how much time did it take for somebody to accomplish something like that? It was a short while. He knew what to do. He knew what to say. He knew what to do to get those kids, you know, to lose their breath and all that stuff. So to me, it appears that that gentleman that came to perform that atrocity is not the same human being here. Looking at his hair, we talked about his hair being much, much more than the gentleman at the scene, and in a difference of 4 days. There is no African who grows hair like that and kaweke of that sort to catch up to that extent. He's there at he's brought to court today. He doesn't have any handcuffs. Even in the United States, when you've watched a movie of a criminal of such sorts who was killed, at least visibly caught killing somebody, you know, or even a suspect with very clear, even let's say we don't have very clear evidence that this person actually did it, but as long as they're in custody. Because if somebody is arrested here for, let's say a husband is dead or a wife is dead, and the prime suspect is one of the spouses, they will take that person and try to determine in a room of where they will interrogate that person to try to place them either at the crime scene or somewhat, so that they can say that this person may be a suspect. And if they are not anywhere at the crime scene or anything of that sort, they let you go. If you don't have any signs of having committed this crime, they let you go within a few hours. But if you are suspected to have committed the crime and your alibi does not match the scene of the crime or what happened, then they will take you in and hold you for further investigation because you are a flight risk or you're a concern of harming somebody else. So they'll take you somewhere in custody and hold you in there until they deem you're innocent. Now, while being held, a criminal of such caliber, you are not free. In fact, you have a chain on your legs from one, I don't know if it's still a handcuff or a leg cuff, something like that. You either are in chains from your cuffs on the arms to the cuffs on your feet and in between, or you are maintained in handcuffs for the duration of the time that you are exposed, especially being tried among other people. This is a public trial. If this man is as dangerous as they say he is, why doesn't he have a simple handcuff? A simple handcuff just to protect the public that is around him. In fact, if he was such a dangerous man, he would not be brought to be tried in public. Because what if he does something else, okay? So I'm just trying to paint a picture where this man whom they brought free, hands-free, no handcuffs, no chains. In fact, the police stood back away from him, the prison's guard. They stood a bit far from him. He was offered water to drink. Now, I've seen how prisoners are held or handled in Uganda, and it's not comparable to anywhere in the rest of the world, especially the Western world where I've seen this happen. If you are deemed some sort of criminal, which this man was caught red-handed, okay? They say the same man was caught red-handed and brought to the from the crime scene, caught right after killing those children. He is taken away by the police and prisons. The police never lose touch or hold of him. Okay, it's not like he disappears and comes back, and or they go and no. This is the same guy from the crime scene, taken to prison to be held, and then brought to public court. He's brought free, no handcuffs. He's given water to drink. He is dressed and has had at least 3 changes of clothes. We have seen 3 changes of clothes. Now, it's not unfair to compare this prisoner and call him luxurious, because compared to the way Noop, in fact, during the burial of Mrs. Edith Mufumbiro, okay, most of the people who are carrying the coffin, the ones wearing the Noop uniform, were abducted and taken away under the orders of Muhoozi and Salim Saleh, because they feel like every day that passes, they are demolishing Noop. But when things like this happen and bring people together, they're surprised that Noop is still a very, very strong party. It is strong and it will not go away. So anyways, those people were abducted. Those people who attended the funeral in uniform, in red uniform, and carried the coffin were all abducted. Some released shortly after, some not released. Another person that I understand is in grave torture is the lady who is, her nickname is Blue Tick. She, I understand, is undergoing severe torture. Now, this is someone who nobody has caught committing any crime, compared to this Onyum person that they're talking about, who killed 4 children. Miss Blue Tick has done nothing of any sorts.